Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. We've got some malicious compliance stories to read today, so let's jump into our first one of the day by forshuregirl. So you need a certified copy of my bachelor degree that you just issued? No problemo. So this is a little one, but it still fulfilled me with satisfaction. During my last semester of my bachelor degree, I already applied for the master's degree at the same university. So I go through the normal application process and get accepted. But as I didn't have my bachelor degree at that point, I had to produce a certified copy of my degree as soon as I could. Yes, I had to give a certified copy of my bachelor's degree to the university who issued that degree in the first place. And no, these were not different departments. It was all done by one lady in the examination office. But whatever, weird bureaucracy is weird. And boy, was it annoying at that university, because all students of my faculty had to go through one lady, and I think she just hated to do anything. Like, seriously, she was so annoyed when you showed up at her office to just do anything. When I turned in my bachelor thesis, she straight up said that she is so freaking annoyed that all the students turned in their thesis in at her office. Well, we don't have another choice? There is seriously not any other way to turn your thesis in, and don't ever think about asking her anything. So I am already looking forward to picking up my bachelor's degree. No, we don't have a fancy celebration. Normally you would get an email when your degree is ready, but as she freaking hates our guts, you just have to guess when it is ready. We don't get an email. 2 weeks after your last grade is put in the system, it is probably ready. So I did just that. I show up at her office and hooray, my degree is ready. Lady says, "Here," without even looking at me. "Thank you, I need a certified copy of that." Lady really annoyed. "Excuse me, what?" "I need a certified copy. Could you please copy it and certify that it is a copy of the original?" "I know what a certified copy is. You can get that at the town hall." "I know, but I can also get it here. I know for a fact that you have to give me one if I request it." 5-second staring contest ensues. "Fine." She takes my degree back, turns around, copies it and signs that it is a certified copy. She hands me the degree and copy. "Here." "Thank you. Now I would like to give you a certified copy of my bachelor's degree for my application for the master's degree." I hand her back the certified copy. "Are you serious?" "Yes, I thought if I am already here, I could turn that in as well, so I don't have to come back again." Another 5-second staring contest. Lady just takes the copy out of my hand and turns around. And with that, I left with the biggest grin on my face. What did she expect? That I go to the town hall, 15-minute ride, wait there for probably 1 to 2 hours, get a certified copy that would cost me 13 euros? At uni one was for free, and then come back another day? Heck no! Especially because she had the weirdest office hours ever. It was something like 2 days a week for 1.5 hours in the morning and 1 day for 1.5 hours in the afternoon. So I probably would have waited days to turn that in. But her face when I asked for a certified copy was just glorious. Maybe it's the job requirements. Maybe they have this lady doing so much stuff that you just kind of naturally grow to resent the job because you have to do so many clerical things. Considering the sheer amount of stuff that this lady most likely has to do you feel bad for her at all? Let me know yes or no in the comments down below. Our next story is by cjwoffy. "I'm so sorry I got in the way of you embezzling the McMoney. I worked at 2 McRestaurants. I'm not going to reveal which McRestaurants these may be, but you may work it out. The first was in my hometown before uni for 6 months. The second was in my uni's town for 18 months. The 2 McRestaurants had differing IT systems. One had an online system, the other just had paper. And so I couldn't simply be transferred. I had to resign from one, get fast-tracked through application at the other, and the people who McTrained me had an easy few shifts. Lead up to being told what to comply to. Now, the first McRestaurant was very strict, but a bit too easygoing. I had good customer service, so was put on the tills every shift. I could combat every Karen with enough sarcasm and fake boomer humor to make them like me. When working on the tills, the managers gave the till users their swipe cards so we could issue refunds quicker or delete an incorrect item on the order when a customer changes their minds 10 times. All is good. Each shift I walk in, count the McMoney, do my job, cash the McMoney, go home. I was almost perfect to the penny. Until one shift, I noticed a coworker using my till during my break. When I cashed the McMoney that shift, I'm down by like a $5 and a few pence, and I'm given a cash retainer, disciplinary, and basically a pop quiz about cash handling. After doing so, I mention the other coworker to a manager and he tells me it's my fault for not constantly supervising my till and for not locking my till during my break, which I didn't even know I could do. He happily shows me. Cool and good. He's nice and even shows me the legal writing that says I cannot leave the till from counting to cashing unless the till is locked. I can comply with that. The night I am finally forced to use this knowledge. A year later, new store, new managers, same legal stuff. I offer to take a coworker's shift so I can afford to eat the next week and end up on a shift with a manager who has never asked me to go until before, which is weird. I'm great with customers and despise cooking McFood. This time though, she was expecting the other worker but had already gotten the McMoney ready. I take it from her, count it, sign it off, and do my job. I start learning that she is working everyone hard while she picks her nails and checks her phone. After a while, she notices that we haven't had any orders for a little while and that I'm just stood watching her procrastinate. Stop standing around and do your job. I am? We have no customers, so I can't serve anyone. She tells me to get stock for the kitchen. What? I thought you wanted me to do my job. Yes, do your job. By the book, McManager? Yes. Okay, no problem. I will stay by this till like it says in the book. Duh. I continue to stand there and she gets irate. Look, McManager, the only way I get to leave this till is to go on my break. She rolls her eyes and leaves me alone. Yay. About an hour getting paid to chat with the customers and coworkers who are nearby the till. Eventually, I am asked to go on my break, so I lock the till as per usual and do so. A coworker of mine, someone who used a flexible till next to mine while I was on break, a flexible till is signed off by a manager, said that while I was on my break, she came to the till, got angry tapping the screen for it to do nothing, and stormed off. When I came back from my break, I asked for her manager card. No, it's for managers only and you're just a till boy today. Wow, okay, is this an extended break? What? No, go do your job. I'll be able to if you give me the manager card so I can unlock your till and do my job. To be honest, you can supervise since it's your card. Again, she rolls her eyes, goes to the till with me, holds out her manager card, and I have to swipe it while she was still holding it because she wouldn't let go. The screen becomes responsive again and I unlock it. She seems to avoid me for the rest of the shift, while I just chill since I wasn't too busy. I have time for a proper laugh with some customers and I even have a drunken friend come in for a milkshake. She and I chat for a while and talk about the weird McManager. End of my shift, the McManager is suddenly very nice and sweet, offers to take my McMoney and count it up for me and I can go home early. Haha, no. I'm paid to the minute and want to cover my own butt, so I counted myself. Not quite perfect, 3 pence over. I probably just didn't give a few people their penny change when they walked away, but for a cash retainer it has to be plus or minus to £1. I'm chill. It was satisfying to irritate her so much while I took the role of procrastinating away from her for that shift. I was grinning on my way home that I had done everything as I should have and put a manager in her place. I even got a drunk friend buddy to walk home with. Turns out there was more to it. That was the most profitable Thursday evening in months. That evening was hundreds of quid more profitable. A little investigation had been carried out because of this. Then they noticed it was the first Thursday evening in months to not have a perfect to the penny cash amount. Then they noticed that it was me who signed it off, not the normal person. Then they noticed that the signature of the other person didn't match with her signature on other shifts. Far too much for it to be a coincidence. CCTV showed McManager to be taking the Tills McMoney into the office on the usual workers' break every shift. I got in the way of it this time for just doing as told and doing my job by the book. Fired, of course. Fined, of course. Think she spent a small amount of time in prison, but now I see her cleaning the floor in the Colonel's Chicken restaurant across the street. Also, I probably would have trusted her to look after the till while I got stuck if she hadn't been so rude. Well, I guess it goes to say that if you're gonna try and do illegal acts, maybe you should try and be nice to the people so that they'll comply with you. For legal reasons, that is a joke. Alright, let's move on to our next story of the day. By Ordinary Diamond 158, follow policy as written, not as verbally stated? Got it. A little long, but very sweet. Where I work, we have the same basic concept of end-of-year goal setting and potential merit raises, etc. that every place I have ever worked has. The difference here is a requirement to demonstrate in a documented manner that you have, over the course of a year, appreciated a coworker for doing their job at least 25 times. I am not joking. We have to, in a formally written way, somehow phrase, "Thank you for not checking out today and doing what is expected of you every day. I appreciate you doing your job and not getting me assaulted, stabbed, or killed today." I work at a prison with violent offenders. Before today's memo about these appreciation letters, we had to go through a really painful bureaucratic nightmare to get credit for one. We had to go to the administration office, only open Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., to access a digital form. We had to go through all the steps to explain why we were thanking them and pick out of 9 options what value we were thanking them for. We then had to type out a minimum of 100 words our thank you and describe a specific situation. We then keyed in the date and approximate time, location, witnesses, etc., then print the form, make 7 copies, and distribute each copy to a different department. If all 7 admin agreed that it was an appropriate thank you moment and turned them in approved in the allotted time frame, then a copy would be given to the recipient and we would get an email saying we could count this thank you towards our goal. Obviously, only administrative staff ever actually met this credit. We carry trail mix in our side pocket because we don't have the staffing numbers or the time to sit down and eat. If I can't eat it walking to my next duty or immediately put it down to respond, I don't get it on shift. And who on earth is going to be that guy and ask for relief to go write a freaking thank you? Last year, our goals were announced in muster, roll call / pre-shift meeting. As typical, with no mention that custody staff must meet the thank you goal to get our 15-cent merit raise at the end of the year. At the end of the year, 0 custody staff got their raise, and we got the union involved. It was passed down after several meetings with administration that the policy had been changed, and we should have read the policy for changes. We are expected to follow the policy as written regardless if something is omitted during the announcement. Well, 0 custody staff again are on course to getting the precious 25. We honestly all boycotted it this year out of protest. And admin finally got wise that there might be an issue. During muster this week, it was announced that our line only can now send an email from our work account to a coworker saying something about them doing something right that day, / being a good person, / a thank you, minimum of 150 words, and BCC our supervisor to get credit. Remembering the burn last year, I got my hands on the policy change immediately after muster. After reading the mind-numbing mumbo-jumbo, I found nestled in the official policy a beautiful typo. The policy stated, the electronic correspondence must meet the minimum word count to receive gold credit for eligible staff as outlined above. The appropriate supervisor is mandated to ensure the word count is specifically the verbiage of the applicable appreciation statement and must be equal to or greater than a count of 15. You read right, a word count of 150 according to the supervisor's announcement, but 15 according to policy. I immediately jumped on an open computer in the muster room and sent out an email with that very specific line, highlighted as a reply all to the last mass email sent out. Every single staff that was eligible has hit their 25 mark in a whopping 32 hours. The warden released a video email to custody staff this morning. He was laughing while he basically told us, in a more politically correct way, that the administration captain and the finance office are losing their minds that everyone gets a raise this year. But he accepts defeat in us using their words to win against them, and excellent job to whoever found the policy typo. All he sees they can do at this point is laugh and marvel at how fast we happily played by their rules. God bless someone dropping a 0 on an official policy, and I want to shake the hand of whoever proofread that policy. Whoever proofread that staff policy probably put in as much effort reading into it as the people in the administration office put into reading the thank yous. I'm just impressed that they actually held up their word even though it was a mistake. You would think even though it was published as policy, they would make some kind of amendment and say, no, you have to do 150 words. And our final story of the day is by I'm a 314 lot. No phone use in the aircraft operating area. No exceptions. Fine, we will do it your way. Before I had all of my pilot ratings and my job flying, I was working as a quality control supervisor for a fueling company at a major airport in the US. My job had me as the person ultimately on the hook for the correct and safe operation of all fuel equipment for the company, as well as one of 2 responsible for the personnel training to use said equipment. Basically, 80 pieces of machinery and 160 people were my problem at any given time. Sure, I had bosses that had responsibilities, but the poop ran downhill to me and the fuelers witched up to my level. I got it from both sides. Standard policy for being on the AOA, aircraft operating area, i.e. the ramp, is absolutely no cell phone use. This is for safety as that environment is full of hazards and even a momentary distraction can be disastrous. Well, as I supervised the entire operation, I couldn't simultaneously monitor the 6 different radio channels we had. As such, my work phone was routinely my communication device as I would get calls from fuelers, leads, management, maintenance, airline operation departments, fire inspector, part suppliers, etc. Heck, I even had my own Secret Service agent to call for VIP flights. Not just Air Force One, but any visiting head of state. To say my work phone was an electronic leash would be an understatement. I was standing near the terminal building in an area far removed from aircraft, but still part of the AOA, and the ramp patrol, airport compliance officers essentially, saw me, didn't care for my reasons, and issued me a citation. Get too many of these and your ID is revoked, effectively getting yourself fired. Okay, no phone on the ramp, got you covered, boss. Pretty soon, airline reps couldn't reach me, and as such, aircraft delays went up. The fire inspector couldn't reach me, so equipment was tagged out of service for minor things easily fixed. The airport duty manager / ADM, person in charge of the operations of the airport, couldn't reach me, so all heck broke loose. I told everyone when asked I was merely complying with the rules as I didn't want any more points on my ID as I prided myself on rules compliance. Sort of have to when your business card says quality control supervisor. About 3 weeks into all of this with 7 delays, 10 in a year is a bad thing, already hitting us, the ADM calls me and asks if I was available that afternoon. I go up to his office and he explains that they are amending the rules so as to allow the use of cell phones in designated areas away from aircraft, as well as when in a stationary vehicle. Also, my citation would be wiped. Now, would I please start carrying my phone? I laughed for a while at that small victory. I think sometimes some rules are made in the expectation of being for the betterment of everybody working there, but can be an oversight in the grand scheme of things. You can have incredibly great intentions when creating a rule, but for some very key players, it might step on their toes a little bit, and in this case, it just needed to be amended. I'm glad that OP got their citation removed because they needed their phone to effectively do their job. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today, so if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which one and why in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe if you haven't. And make sure to click the bell to turn notifications on too so you'll never miss an upcoming video. No matter what you did, whether it was liking, commenting, subscribing, thank you for supporting me right here on the Storytime channel. It all helps the channel grow immensely, so thank you so very much for supporting me. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and until next time, I'll be reading even more stories to share with you guys right here on the Storytime channel.